at 28. We are loaded with Vancouver Canucks. We're going back to Van. How about Elias Pettersson here? He's at 28, sliding 2 spots. He was 26 on the list a year ago, Rupper. This is a guy, kind of maybe a tale of 2 seasons for him a year ago.
Yeah, and here's the thing with EP40. You got him at 28 here, so he's right around the midway point of the top 50, right? I think that tells the story about this guy. Now, what I mean by that is he could be at 50, or he could be off the list, or he could be top 10. I think this next season is going to say a lot. I mean, he could put points on the board, but he has times where he disappears, but he's world class when he's there, right? So it always leaves you wanting a little bit more. They needed him come playoff time, and he kind of was struggling. Let's see if he could bounce back here in this season, because again, I think the world of him as a player, as you look at his splits, he could be a top 10, top 15 in this league, but I also see if his consistency doesn't get better, he could drop even more.
How does he get that consistency? How do you find that as a professional athlete?
Listen, it's tough for me to comment on a guy like that and what he does, because he does something I certainly couldn't do, and most players cannot do at the National Hockey League level. But I find that just being engaged, right? Like finding ways to contribute when parts of your game maybe aren't there that night. It's a long season. What can I do in these moments? And he's a super intelligent player. He's got a phenomenal shot. We've seen him in the hardest shot competition. Like, he doesn't look like a guy that can bring some heat, but he can bring it. But I just think that it's one of those, just finding ways to be mentally there every night. And it's a struggle. It's tough in the National Hockey League to bring your A game every night. But the one thing you can control is effort. And I don't think it's that he doesn't care. I think he's world class. And I think he does care. He's just got to find a way to make sure he's there and, you know, kind of pick this team up. Because if he can get going, we were talking about JT Miller, we haven't started talking about Quinn Hughes and some of these other players on this roster.
They're loaded.
Look out for this Vancouver Canucks team.
When he is bringing it, when he is on his A game, what does that look like? What is he so good at that makes him an elite talent in the NHL?
The puck should come from him in all areas of the ice. It's the power play, 5-on-5. He is the type of player. Like, I would say he's an offensive generator. I'm not going to say he's not Connor McDavid. He's not. But for the Vancouver Canucks, he is. Like, he is the guy that everything should facilitate through him. And he's got that ability to take over a game where you get all of your eyes on 40, and that's where he distributes the puck or he hammers home his one-timer. I put him up there with all these guys as far as what he means to this team, and that money he's getting paid is pretty good. Just a little more consistency, and I think this guy could shoot up this list.
What do you think the ceiling is for a guy like Elias Pettersson at this point in his career?
I don't know. I mean, because remember how he busted in too, right? Like, we've seen way more good than bad with him. I just think last year, and at times where it's one thing to do things when people aren't looking, but now when you get the focus on you, can you kick it up to that next level? I think the greats do that. I'm looking for him to do it because I think he can be one of the greats.
How much do you think that last season, the noise surrounding the contract and that deal not getting done at certain points and then it officially is done, how much do you think some of that noise surrounding what was going on off the ice led to what happened, the decline on the ice?
Well, we saw in some of his media scrums, you could tell it was bothering him, right? Like, he kind of pushed back a few different times. I don't know how he handles it. I don't know him as an individual. It's not easy. He has a lot of pressure, and I think he's a prideful player, like most are, and they want to deliver. It's easier said than done, but that's where we're talking about the greats, and it's not always just puppies and rainbows. There's pressure that all these guys on this list, they make a lot of money. You could say life is good, they have no worries in the world. No, they want to earn this. They want to make sure their fans love them. They want to make sure they're doing everything for their team. Yeah. I think he's navigating through that. That's a lot on your plate.
All right, Elias Pettersson coming in at number 28.